Then, now,
acknowledge me.
You can't see me. Forever. Together.
Tonight, there's only one person on planet Earth distinguished enough to open Wrestlemania Goes Hollywood. International man of intrigue. The biggest name with a smaller than average frame.
Now, hold up. Voiceover guy. You gonna do me like that?
I just would read what's on page.
Yeah, you know what? You lucky you just a voice, or else you'll get the big boot little leg drop.
The star of Wrestlemania Goes Hollywood cold open. Ladies and gentlemen, Kevin Hart.
Look, as a master storyteller, I'm here to tell you all the story. A once upon a time in Hollywood story. The stuff of legend with legends.
Unbelievable! It is the night legacies are born. The Austin era has begun, or laid to rest forever. The streak is over. Still Wrestlemania, you've done something special. The greatest live event in entertainment.
What a time to be alive.
This is the story of when the greatest show in live entertainment took over Tinseltown.
City of Angels, buckle up.
Tonight, everybody's going Hollywood.
I cannot wait.
And I mean everybody.
I feel the need for speed.
I can't stop thinking about Wrestlemania. We got star power.
Austin Theory versus John Cena.
Action and adventure. Romance. I don't mind if I do. You know what else we got? What else you need? We got room for more.
Tomorrow night, it doesn't get any bigger than this.
Welcome, world, to Wrestlemania Goes Hollywood.
It's time to fight.
Wow. Hey, what's the pyro budget on this thing?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the least requested, least demanded, and the least downloaded wrestling podcast, PCW. This could be a long podcast, so strap in and shut up and don't be a little bitch about it.
To the masters.
Ruthless aggression.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome back to another episode of PCW. I am your host, Wayne. You can call me SemiDryChicken, and I am not alone because this is WrestleMania 39. I need people in the commentary booth with me. Let's bring them out. Dre, WrestleMania season, welcome back.
Yeah, what it do, PCW crew? Yep, it is officially WrestleMania Night 1 in the books. Let's get to it.
Yeah, Dre, if you were wearing a nice suit, if you're doing commentary with me, would you be wearing like a regular nice suit, or would you be wearing an extravagant Corey Graves suit?
I don't know if I'd go as extravagant as Corey Graves or even what Montez Ford and Byron Saxton had for the Hall of Fame. I don't know if I'd go that flashy, but it is WrestleMania, so you got to step it up a bit. You can't just You can't just come out into some basic, simple black or blue suit. You kind of got to step it up. So I don't know. I'd probably step it up with something custom, maybe something with some pinstripes to it, maybe a seersucker or something. But yeah, you'd have to step up the drip for WrestleMania night.
Speaking of drip, let's bring them in. Doyle, we're sticking with the WrestleMania music. How you doing?
Oh, it's me. It's the Doyle. And, God, I wish they would bring that back. Because as much as I like Kool and the Gang, I think Hollywood Swingin' must have played somewhere I used to work. Because every time I hear that song, it's like a Clockwork Orange. I just want to, like, jump out a window.
Yeah. So what kind of suit would you be wearing for WrestleMania? If the three of us are in the commentary booth, you know.
Did you see what Trish wore to the Hall of Fame? Probably something like that.
Okay, yeah. Very nice.
Half business, half club.
Blazer, half tank top.
Yeah.
Kind of multicolored. Yeah, something like that. Something absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
Business on one side, clubbing on the other side.
That's right. Okay, so you know what? Let's kind of jump into it right here. I kind of want to talk about the Hall of Fame before we get into WrestleMania. If anybody was able to catch Hall of Fame, they had it after SmackDown. So it's crazy to think how we used to have SmackDown, we would have the Hall of Fame and maybe like an NXT pay-per-view on a Saturday. And then the one and only night of WrestleMania would be on Sunday. But now it's just stretched out, it's stretching out so much farther that we have to fit the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. Couldn't even make it to the main show. They had to put it on SmackDown. Didn't even have one.
To the pre-show.
Yeah, they didn't.
2 hours of pre-show and didn't give us a single match.
Right. You couldn't do that. We couldn't have, they wouldn't call it the Fabulous Moolah over the top rope battle royal for the women. I guess they won't call it that anymore, but they don't have one for the women either. So a lot of women were left off the card, and then you got these guys who had to do it on SmackDown. I kind of, when that match started and I saw who was in the ring, I kind of got down to my last 4, but at the end of the day, I was like, they got to give it to Lashley. And it's like, why? Because they have to. Like, what else has he got going on right now? Right?
I expect we'll see him this evening in some capacity.
Yeah, I mean, we're like smack down in the middle of this huge WrestleMania weekend, so there's still a lot that could happen. Just after that Battle Royal, just a bunch of promos. Nobody's really trying to get hands, and right before WrestleMania, we want nobody getting injured before the big show. So SmackDown was kind of a lull, I think, for the rest of the evening. But the Hall of Fame ceremony, we had Andy Kaufman, Stacy Keibler, which we didn't talk about last time, getting into the Hall of Fame. I just like how when they announced Stacy Keibler and they would show like a little bit of clips of her, it's like a lot of it you probably couldn't show now, but they would show like just like 2-second clips. It's like, yeah, you can't. Why can't you show us Jerry the King Lawler squirting a water gun at her ass in a bikini? Why can't we see that? Why can't we see her, dancing on the table with Vince McMahon, falling over in a chair? Why can't we see those? But yeah, Stacy Keibler, she was put in by Mick Foley and Tori Wilson. She was there for when Tori got put in. Andy Kaufman was inducted by Jerry the King Lawler and Jimmy Hart. Makes sense. The Great Muta.
See the King. You could tell he wasn't fully recovered yet, but it was nice to see him at least.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree.
Coming from that recent stroke, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Also, the Great Muta was inducted by Ric Flair and Rey Mysterio, the centerpiece of the Hall of Fame this year. Conan, is that how you pronounce it?
Conan.
Yeah. Konnan. I'm probably butchering it. Maybe, but that's who he was inducted by. You know, Rey Mysterio, one-time WWE, two-time World Champion, two-time Intercontinental, two-time United States, eight-time WCW and WWE Cruiserweight, four-time Tag Team. He was a one-time SmackDown, three-time WWE World Tag Team, or WCW World Tag Team, one-time WCW Cruiser Tag Team Champion, and also the 2006 Royal Rumble winner. So he had a hell of a run. Even after how things went down last night and stuff, a great way to cap his career if he would not wrestle again. But we'll talk about that later. There's some plans for Ray in the future, doing something else. Well, you know, do you guys want to butt in on anything here about the Hall of Fame before I move on?
I thought the Hall of Fame ceremony was nice. It was kind of short and pretty straight to the point. Not quite as eventful as maybe some previous years, and that's nothing against the inductees themselves. It's just, you know, I don't know, some previous years kind of feel like, at least to me personally, like they may have been more substantial, but that's all kind of dependent on your connection to the inductees, you know. So it will vary from person to person. My one wish is that I wish Great Muta, it was great to see him be inducted. You know, to see WWE acknowledge someone who basically never competed in their company, but they recognize that Muta is such an iconic person and carries so much magnitude just in the professional wrestling world that he warranted induction in their Hall of Fame, even though he never worked in the company itself. So that was nice. That was a nice gesture on their end. I wish he could have been inducted by Sting rather than Ric Flair, because him and Sting apparently had a closer relationship, I think, than Muta and Flair did. But obviously we know why Sting couldn't be a part of it. You know, he's currently with AEW, and I don't think
Flair did mention that.
Huh?
Flair did mention that in his speech.
Yeah.
He's like, I thought Sting would be up here doing this, but I guess not.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm not alone in wishing that it would have been Sting. It would have been nice to see him. I wish WWE and AEW could have worked something out for Sting to appear and do that. That would have been nice to see. But other than that, it was kind of surprising that Mick Foley was the one helping induct Stacy Keibler. I didn't realize that they were close like that, or that she had that much reverence for him as a person.
Yeah.
Say what? Yeah, like Tori Wilson seemed to be obviously Tori Wilson was the obvious one, but seeing Mick up there as well, that was kind of surprising.
Should have been Jerry the King Lawler, you know.
Yeah, but he gave a good introductory speech, and Stacy Keibler clearly looks great for her age. She looks like she's barely aged at all.
WWE.
All in all, it was a good ceremony.
WWE recognized accolades for Stacy Keibler is listed as Nitro Girl Search winner of 1999, WWE Babe of the Year for 2004, and manager/valet for numerous wrestlers in WCW and WWE. Amazing.
Dre, I do have a question for you.
What's up?
What did you think of the Dominic and Judgment Day walking out stuff? Was the sanctity of the Hall of Fame ceremony preserved to your satisfaction, or?
I wish they hadn't done it. Like when Ray walked out and they were and everybody else was clapping and they were just basically not even looking at him and just remain still and not acknowledging him. I thought that was good enough. I wish they hadn't done the whole walkout thing. Like, they did it. They at least they did it early in his speech where he got up and walked out and he just quickly acknowledged that, I'll deal with that tomorrow. But personally, I wish they hadn't. And
I liked Conan in his speech said something about like, oh, I wish I was your son instead of Dominic, or I could replace Dominic, or something like that. It was pretty funny.
Yeah, I remember Conan was last time he wrestled, I think, he appeared in 1992 under Max Moon. Do you guys remember Max Moon?
I think there were a couple Max Moons, but yes, he was one of them for sure.
They also had the Warrior Award this year again, and it's given to Tim White, the referee, by John Bradshaw Layfield and Ron Simmons. So,
yeah, that was nice. His brothers did a great job. The stories about the bar he owned were pretty good. He anytime he wanted to fix something, he'd have them book a fight there. So, they said the jukebox was broken. He wanted a new jukebox, so he had them smash up the jukebox, which was already broken, just so he could write it off and get a new one. I thought that was pretty good. It's if you want to get technical, Teddy Long worked as a Hall of Famer. He worked as a referee for a while. So
right.
If you want to get super technical, maybe not the first referee ever. But anyway, the only shitty thing with some of these things is you wish some of these guys could get honored while they're still alive. And Tim White passed away last year, I believe. And it kind of sucks that, some of the, and I guess you can't put everyone in every year and life happens or stops happening, as it were. But it's just sometimes the Hall of Fame ceremony makes you wish that some of these people could have been around to see it,
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah, it kind of sucks that sometimes someone has to pass away for them to realize that, oh shit, we've been overlooking a significant part of our, wrestling family in terms of the referees.
Mm-hmm.
Like all these Hall of Famers, you've been focusing on the wrestlers and the managers and the celebrities. Is like, dude, some of these referees are just as well known as the superstars, and
sure,
it was long overdue that they should have been. That some of these referees should have gotten their acknowledgement and their induction, but yeah, I wish it would have happened sooner.
Unlike real sports, quote unquote real sports, in the NFL, the referees aren't part of the game per se.
Right.
In professional wrestling, the referee is giving cues, is relaying messages. They're just as big a part of the show as the wrestlers are. You know what I mean? Like they help facilitate everything. So I think oftentimes huge unsung heroes. A bad ref can tank a match.
Oh, dude, that's so true.
A good ref can make two guys that may not be the greatest work better together.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Yeah.
When a referee messes up, you notice it. You think back to what was it? No Way Out, Rock versus Kurt Angle.
Yep.
And the referee missing the 3 count and Rock basically cussing him out in the ring over it. Famous botches are remembered. So, they're the ones who, they're there. And when they're doing their job, their best, you don't notice them. And that's how it's supposed to be. Mm-hmm. They keep the action flowing smoothly, focused on the superstars. And when you don't notice them, that's when they're doing their job the best.
That's right. Moving on here. Did anybody catch any of NXT Stand and Deliver?
Personally, I did not.
Okay. No, it's okay. It was pretty good. Like, I would have to say, like, the standout match for me of the night. Like, if anybody's gonna go back and like try to catch any highlights of this match, go back to the Fatal 5-Way match for the NXT North American Championship. It was Wesley defending his title against Axiom, Dragon Lee, Dragunov and JD McDonough, I think it is. Yeah. The match was like 19 minutes, 17 seconds. So it was a lengthy match, but Wesley retains. But there was bodies flying everywhere. It was really good. There was this the guy was, how do I explain this? Wesley was trying to do a front flip in the ring, and he got super kicked mid-air while he's doing the flip, and the mark is on his face for the rest of the match. Even to the very end, you see this gigantic like foot mark, like a boot in his face. He got legit super kicked. Lot of great spots in that match. Carmelo Hayes beating Braun Breaker for the NXT Championship. A great match as well.
From what I read, sure it looked like Braun is on his way up to the main roster after that finish.
That's what I was going to ask. I was going to ask if Braun kept the title, but if he dropped it, then it's the signal to me that he is he's for a main roster call up.
Didn't he come out and present the belt to Carmelo Hayes and kind of take a bow, sort of?
Like he's held it for quite some time, and you could just tell by the atmosphere, like in the past couple of weeks, like it's Carmelo Hayes' time and to be the next NXT champion, and he's on that rise. And Braun Breaker's just like he's
Breaker to do.
Exactly. Like you hit that glass ceiling in NXT, unfortunately, and there's nowhere else to go but up. And so at this point, I would like to see him maybe show up on Raw. I think that would be a good place for him. I don't think SmackDown feels like his place yet. Also, another great match was the Johnny Gargano defeated Grayson Waller by submission in the unsanctioned match. That went over 18 minutes. That was really good. And holy shit, there was a good spot where Gargano suplexed Grayson Waller out of the ring onto a stack of chairs. Not tables, chairs. And they were set up. They were set up side by side, and there's probably like 6 of them maybe. And their backs landed right on those chairs, and it was like a cringe-worthy moment. A lot of people thought Shawn Michaels might have be coming out of retirement for that match, but we got Gargano, and I was happy with it. The storyline was really good. I do like when you can bring back a star like that to NXT to kind of elevate the pay-per-view a little. It's not. I don't ever think it's unnecessary to go back to NXT to rub it with the new guys. That's a great. Even though he lost, Grayson Waller got to go around the ring with Gargano, Johnny Wrestling. So if anybody wants to go back and catch any of those kind of matches, great matches. Anything on NXT Stand Deliver before I move on? No, nothing.
Nothing from my end. I think.
See it.
Okay. All right. Wonderful. Just so much wrestling to digest in these past couple of days with SmackDown in the Hall of Fame, the NXT, which like we said, and we still have another night of WrestleMania. We still have the night after the Raw after Mania, which is going to be fantastic. But yeah, let's move on here right into WrestleMania 39, April 1st, 2023. The combined attendance record was 80,497. I'm quite curious to know if there's going to be a bigger bump, and how much of a bigger bump night 2. With that main event being the more popular, I would say the more popular main event. Celebrity involvements we had tonight. We had, let's see, Kevin Hart did the cold open for the event. We had Snoop Dogg along with The Miz. And we also had Snoop Dogg, we'll talk about later, with his entrance with Rey Mysterio.
He wasn't advertised, was he?
No, I didn't think he was advertised.
I had no idea.
No.
He wasn't advertised per se, but when they did, if you think back last year, a few months back, when they did the kind of WrestleMania kickoff thing, when they had Bianca and Becky Lynch, Snoop Dogg was at that. That's when they presented him with that WWE championship, when it's all gold with the green on it.
Yeah.
So he's kind of been involved with the show from kind of the early days on, but no, he wasn't like heavily promoted as being a part of the actual event itself, but he has been involved.
Yeah, I mean, like, Snoop Dogg's...
Right?
Yeah, he's been involved in a lot of wrestling. Honestly, I don't mind it. Every time I see Snoop Dogg, I'm always all for it when he's around. You know, sometimes
AEW too.
Yeah. I mean, people give him shit. Oh, he went to AEW, did stuff there. I'm like, yeah, he like genuinely loves pro wrestling. I'm like, let the man go. If he wants to spend his money and time, you know, going to things like this, like, fucking let him.
First of all, it's Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg's gonna do whatever the fuck he wants.
I know, right?
Like, he'll show up at everything.
Yeah. Snoop Dogg's a very open-minded person. I like it.
I think it wasn't until later, but Graves had a great line when he said something about, like, we got to protect Snoop Dogg. He's a national treasure. And he's
right. I heard that line. I was like, facts.
Yep, real true. Does anybody know... I had to Google... Does anybody know who YouTube rapper and boxer KSI is?
Nope.
I know who KRS-One is.
I had no idea. And for a split second before they said who it was, I thought for a split second it may have been R-Truth. I was like, was that R-Truth?
I kind of thought the same at first. I'm like, is that R-Truth?
That's what I thought.
It's KSI. And I'm like, who the fuck is KSI?
Who the fuck is KSI? So, yeah, I don't know who that was.
They really
I was thinking,
overreacted to him.
I was thinking maybe they could have involved him in the build somehow, but then I think it probably would have been super obvious that he was in the suit or whatever. But I thought it was pretty obvious that somebody was in the suit.
And
so,
then,
like,
yeah, I thought it was his brother.
Could have done differently there. That would have pleased me.
Right. I thought it would have been his brother.
We actually knew.
The gobbledygooker.
I don't know.
I thought it might have been like Jake Paul or something.
That's what I thought.
I don't know. Yeah, but then I thought, like, are they going to go back to that same well again after doing that at Crown Jewel? So then I was like, nah, maybe it's somebody else. But like, I don't know. Maybe it's because we're old. Maybe that's something for the young people. Maybe the young people who are more hardcore into social media and YouTube and, you know, the Jake Paul followers, maybe they knew who he was and they reacted to it.
Yeah, I guarantee there's probably a listener to our podcast who is a huge fan, and he's just yelling right now, "It was KSI, you dumbasses! I can't believe you guys didn't know who that was." Oh, man. But, yeah, and we saw San Francisco 49ers tight end George Kittle. Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, he was there.
That guy, yeah, he was there. He bought a ticket.
He's a wrestling fan. He had fun.
Yeah. Pat McAfee, we'll consider him a celebrity. I was happy Pat McAfee was back. And Lil Uzi Vert performed part of his song "Just Wanna Rock" live prior to the main event of night one. I missed that. So, yep. They had a lot of promotional movie parodies, similar to the ones in WrestleMania 21, which also had the Hollywood theme. WrestleMania 39 was promoted on television with a series of parody movies and television trailers with WWE talent playing the starring roles of famous movies and shows. And that includes The Joker, featuring Seth Rollins portraying the Joker in the scene of him dancing down the steps before being confronted by Becky Lynch, portraying Batman. Although Batman did not appear in that film, Lynch portrayed was similar to Christian Bale's Batman in the Dark Knight trilogy. We then got Top Gun with The Miz and Maurice walking out onto an aircraft carrier dressed in their full aviator suits. We got Stranger Things with Rhea Ripley portraying Eleven with a voiceover of John Cena portraying Martin Brenner trying to draw out her psychic powers. We had Titanic with Bianca Belair and Montez Ford reenacting the scene of Jack and Rose on the front of the ship. The 40-Year-Old Virgin with Drew McIntyre, the Brawling Brutes, Sheamus, Ridge Holland, and Butch reenacting the chest waxing scene with Holland getting his chest waxed, which I did enjoy that one. And the last one is the Goodfellas with the Bloodline, Roman Reigns, Jey Uso, Jimmy Uso, Solo Sikoa, and Paul Heyman reenacting the bar scene. They weren't that bad this year. I mean, if you go back and watch the ones from WrestleMania 21, I thoroughly enjoyed those ones. I thought these were all pretty good. Some were like more cheesier than others. Some didn't make any sense at all. But yeah, whatever. Good promotional movie parodies. I like them.
Yeah, they were cute. They were fun. The only one I really didn't care for was the Joker one with Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch doing the Batman thing. That one just kind of felt out of the spirit of the movie itself. Like the other ones kind of maintained the spirit of the films they were parodying, whereas that one kind of felt off. But other than that, they were cute and fun.
Yeah, I feel like if you would have not had Becky Lynch at all, just have Seth dancing down the steps, and that's it. That's all you needed. That's all you needed. And just cut it. Sometimes they gotta learn when to stop. So.
How about Solo Sikoa speaking for the first time?
You are a funny tribal chief.
That was the first. Yeah, that was the first time we ever heard him talk, right?
For a while, yeah. Just the look.
On the main roster. I didn't see him on NXT, but
yeah, he had to cut promos and stuff. But like, since his main roster debut, yeah, I mean, like, he really hasn't had any speaking roles. Honestly, he has been undefeated for the longest time until just last week. But yeah, even though he didn't really hold any gold recently, he's still got some star power to him. Not taking any L's this weekend. But night's not over yet. All right. Let's move on here. Night 1. We had Michael Cole, Corey Graves, and later at some point we had Titus O'Neil on commentary. Let's see. The first match. We got word a couple days ago that Austin Theory and John Cena would be the first match to kick off the show. Maybe John Cena had to be out of there early. I'm not sure. I guess he was a busy man. But good match to kick off the show. 11 minutes, 20 seconds. I was very shocked how this kind of went. I mean, I guess we kind of foresaw this. Like, Austin Theory needed this win to move on. What's John Cena going to do? Is he going to come back every week with an open, what do they call open challenge match for the United States title? John Cena's got places to go, things to do. So I guess I was holding my breath that John Cena would stick around for a little bit longer, but I guess not. Austin Theory was able to get John Cena clean with the pinfall. A lot of biting in this match from Austin Theory. I guess not a complete clean because it was a low blow, and an 8-count down. Yeah, a heel win, I guess. John Cena, his age is showing with his bald spot. Oy. Jeez. But other than that, I'd probably give this like a 3-star. I rather enjoyed seeing John Cena again, and it's been a while since we've seen John Cena wrestle. He put over Austin Theory. What's next for this guy? The sky's the limit. This guy beat John Cena at WrestleMania. That's a small list. of guys who've beaten John Cena. You know, so
that's at the top of your resume.
Yeah, that so if people haven't really started taking Austin Theory that serious, I mean, you know, we remember this guy being Vince's lackey. You know, he was in NXT working under Johnny Gargano. You know, he came in, he was Vince's lackey for a while, and then we thought once Vince left, this guy's career was going to go down the toilet. No, he got his hands on the United States title. He had a couple of good rubs with other wrestlers, and he beat John Cena at WrestleMania. Like, damn, good for that guy. Good mark on his fucking resume for that. Dre,
last year he worked Stone Cold. I mean, you know,
he worked. Yeah, exactly. So, in 1 year's time, like, look where this guy has, how far this guy has gone. You know, so if we've ever had doubts for this guy before, you know, it's clearly showing that this guy's going up and up and up.
Sure, and plus, I mean, besides getting the rub from being in the ring with Stone Cold at WrestleMania, I don't think that, you know, he's got a spaghetti neck. They don't want just anybody, and you know, so if you're trusting somebody to be in there and be physical with you know, your biggest star of the last, you know, 25 years, and you're trusting that kid with it, they must really trust the kid, you know?
Right. Dre, what did you think of this match?
The match was just okay. Honestly, it was a standard fair match, which I understand. John Cena's part-time. John Cena clearly has to protect himself because he has Hollywood commitments, so he can't really go out there and just completely lay it all out there and risk an injury that's going to delay production on any of the numerous projects he may have going on. But so the fact, and the outcome was predictable. The moment they announced it was for the U.S. title, we knew what the outcome was going to be. If they wanted to have any air of uncertainty going into the match about as far as who was going to win, it should have been a non-title match. It should have just been for bragging rights, and that's it. Or just a case of John Cena putting a young guy in his place versus a young guy wanting to, you know, prove himself as a guy. And it should have just left the U.S. title out of it. The moment they said it was for the United States Championship, everybody and their mama knew that Austin Theory was going to win. So the only suspense going into the match was, would Austin Theory and John Cena have a good enough match to elevate Austin Theory as being a top tier competitor? Because to me, just getting the win over John Cena isn't enough. Yes, it's an accolade, but it's a technical accolade. It's one thing that, you can list it on his resume, but how much weight does it really carry? It's like a person when they win MVP in a league, but everybody knows that somebody else should have gotten the MVP. It's one of those things. It's like, yeah, you did it, but nobody really buying into it. So to me, that was the only suspense going into this match. And coming out of it, do I feel like Austin Theory has been elevated? Do I feel like this match really did anything for Austin Theory? Honestly, no. I don't feel like it did anything, just because it was such a mid-tier kind of match. And the outcome was pretty much already known going into it. So I don't feel like it's not like he did an exceptional performance. It's not like there's anything memorable about the match. It just happened. He won. You know, kudos to Cena giving him the rub, obviously. But other than that, nothing stands out about it. I don't know that this really does anything to elevate him. Now, moving forward, of course, they're gonna milk it for all it's worth. Obviously, he's gonna come out there and they're gonna talk about him being one of the few guys to beat John Cena at WrestleMania and they'll squeeze every bit of juice out of this lemon that they can. But I don't know if it's really going to change minds of the WWE audience. I'm just not sold on that. Like, to me, the most memorable part of this whole match was John Cena having the moment with the Make-A-Wish kids going down to the ring.
Yeah. Oh man, what a great moment for those kids.
Yeah, that was a beautiful moment. And to me, that's more memorable than anything that happened once the bell rung. So, I don't know that this. I know what their intent was for this match. I just don't know if it's actually going to work with the audience.
Right. So let me ask you something. There was like 20 kids up there. Do you think it counted as one wish, or do you think it counted? Do you think he knocked out like 20 right there?
Well, he's already got the record, doesn't he?
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, if he's going for numbers, right, he'd be like John Cena's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
At this point.
Yeah, he's like 20 more. Rack them and stack them. He goes, look at all that. It's just like, I was like, good for those, because I was like, that's fucking awesome to be on that stage for WrestleMania. Oh, man.
He took the time and he high-fived every single one of them.
Yep.
Before.
Right. Yep.
You know, like, yeah, and we've complained, and I certainly have, and Dre, I know you have too, about the incessant calling of him the GOAT. The GOAT, the GOAT, the GOAT. And he's one of the greatest of all time. He's not the greatest of all time.
Right.
He might be the best, like, guy.
Yeah.
Because that, I mean, I is coming from someone who doesn't want kids, doesn't like kids, tries to, interact with children as little as humanly possible. That Make-A-Wish, when they do the Connor's Cure stuff, it always gets to me.
Right.
And fucking, what a great human being John Cena is. Say what you want about him, but I think that can't be understated. Dre, you're absolutely right that was probably the most memorable thing about that match. And what a great moment for those kids.
Yeah. It's hard to say anything negative about John Cena when he does stuff like this, and not just doing it as a formality. Like some people, they do things and you can kind of tell that they're just doing it because like a publicist told them to, or like they're just there because somebody said they had to be there. Like when Cena does it, you can tell it's genuine, and it's genuine from the heart. Like you said, he took a moment to interact with each one of those kids before making his way down the ramp. He could have easily just went out there, looked at them, waved at them, and then moved on, or stopped next to him, let the photographer get a quick picture, and then moved on. But no, he high-fived each one of them. He hugged them. He gave each one of them.
Crowd for him. He was he stuck his arm out or whatever, and the crowd legitimately upticked.
Right. He gave those kids something that they will genuinely remember, and that they will feel special, as opposed to just being like props to help make something look good. Like that was pure and genuine and from the heart. And you can't say anything negative about a guy who does stuff like that and truly does it from the heart.
Yeah, Peacemaker.
Yeah. Yeah, he's clearly lost a step. I thought maybe they should have leaned into that a little more. Maybe have commentary talk about, ring rust or something. Maybe having him, kind of even deliberately be off a little, like purposely maybe missing a spot here or there. I kind of wonder why they didn't lean into that a little more. And they also didn't lean into Theory. I thought did a pretty good job of having an answer for just about everything Cena was trying to do.
Right.
And commentary kind of ignored that too. And they should have played up more that like Cena was Austin Theory's hero as a kid. Like he clearly had studied, what Cena does.
Right.
So I thought this could have been better than it was. And love of me, I don't understand why this was the first match. We said maybe Cena's going to be on set this morning or something, but it's just like, how did you not know that this was kind of going to be a dud? The next match we'll talk about that. I think that should have been. I mean, that's got opening WrestleMania match written all over it. Get the crowd going, high flying, big spots. And it didn't make any sense to me that this was what they led with.
Right.
You're right. The potential was there in this match and in this feud. Unfortunately, I just don't think it just wasn't executed. And who knows? Maybe if Cena's schedule was a bit lighter, then he could have invested more into this to really make it what it could have been. But the execution didn't live up to the potential.
Yeah.
All right, like you were mentioning, what match should have kicked off the show, and that would be Braun Strowman and Ricochet versus the Street Profits versus Alpha Academy versus, please, the Viking Raiders. All right, this was they squared off in the men's showcase tag match. Wasn't an elimination; it was a first pin. There was a lot of great spots in this match. In this fatal 4-way tag match, there was a great spot with Chad Gable doing a rolling German suplex to Braun Strowman, and Braun Strowman is not a small guy. Chad Gable is a small guy. How can this man still be in the tag team division? Give this man a push. Like, if you're gonna break him and Otis up, which kind of looks like they're leaning towards, hopefully it's for the best of Chad Gable, so he can get the robe that he fucking needs and gets the push that he needs in this singles run, because Chad Gable is an amazing wrestler. This match had
tonight we're going to see Lesnar give an F5 to Omos, and we're going to continue to see that for the next 25 years. But for my money, that visual of Gable German suplexing Strowman was I mean, I obviously haven't seen the Lesnar Omos spot, but we know it's coming. But that was much more visually impressive to me, I think.
Right. Yeah, I mean,
the crowd reacted in kind.
Yeah, there was just a lot of good spots like that. But that was like one of the biggest ones. Even I think the last spot of the match to leading up to the pin of the shooting star press, and then the 5-star, or it was Ricochet doing the shooting star press, and then was it Montez Ford doing the 5-star frog splash like right afterwards, and then Dawkins getting the pin. You know, that was such a great win for the Street Profits. For WrestleMania, I think the match had a lot of great highlights. It was only 8 minutes and 30 seconds, but they made it work in that small amount of time.
And it felt longer in a good way.
It did. It did. And I hope after this, maybe we can see Braun and Ricochet kind of stay together, because it seems like as a tag team they're working out pretty well. Maybe Otis is going to go join the models doing what they do, and Chad Gable gets the push that he deserves. The Viking Raiders, hopefully, now that we'll talk about later, that the tag team division is kind of fresh. Hopefully we see them, in the future doing something with the tag titles, maybe as contenders. But yeah, overall, I would give this one also a 3. Dre.
Yeah, there are 2 people in this match for whom at next year's WrestleMania we need to see them as singles competitors. That's Chad Gable and Montez Ford. Both of them have single star written all over them. Both of them deserve to move on and become singles competitors after this WrestleMania, or in the next year, between now and next year's WrestleMania. The match itself did exactly what it should have done had it been the kickoff match. It lit the crowd up. It had tons of energy. They packed a whole lot into the 8 to 9 minutes that they had, and everybody got to shine. Everybody got to look good. Everybody got their moments. Nobody came out of this match looking weaker. It's exactly what they called it. It was a showcase, and they delivered on that wholeheartedly. If I give it a score, I'd give it 3.5 stars. Everybody got a good spot in, and it clearly pumped up the crowd for the rest of the show. Like I said, I think I'm in agreement with you that there's still more to be had with Braun Strowman and Ricochet as a tag team. There's definitely still some money out there for them, especially like you said, now that the grip on the tag titles has been broken. Viking Raiders also I believe can continue on as a tag team. Alpha Academy and Street Profits, though, I think they've run their course as a tag team. This is a good way for them to go out in a strong match like this. Obviously, they're not going to break up Monday, but this should be the beginning of the end for those two tag teams, and their stars in terms of Chad Gable and Montez Ford should move on and become singles competitors coming out of this. And even Angelo Dawkins, there's something there with him. I think he has potential to have a pretty strong singles run. There was a good spot of Braun Strowman doing his little locomotion thing where he runs over everybody.
Oh, yes. Dude, that was a good spot. I love that spot. Whew.
Right. That was probably my favorite spot of the match, aside from the finish, was just Angelo just fucking drilling.
Yeah, like what can stop a train? Dawkins. He can stop a train. Because that was shocking, because he was taking out everybody, and then they made him do another round. I was like, okay, here we go again. And yeah, he got like it was impressive seeing somebody. And you know what? Let's give it to Braun too. Like, you know, the guys, for the size that he is, he's making these guys look real good. Like, doing that, you know, somebody taking Braun down like that, and then later doing that suplex with Chad. Like, maybe Braun is better in the tag division. Like, Braun hasn't really been in the tag division. I mean,
he's a tag team champion.
Yeah, God, yeah, that's right.
What is Nicholas? Chopped liver?
Yeah, that's true. God damn. I mean, at least he got somebody a little taller. Ricochet's a little bit taller. But maybe, like, Nicholas will come back one day and feud with Ricochet for the spot to be a tag team partner. And there we go. Wrestlemania 40, bring it. So,
yeah, but Braun Strowman, I agree with you. Braun is in a good place in the tag division as a big man because he can work with smaller guys and look great pulling off moves on them, but he can also make smaller guys look great when they land stuff on him, like Chad Gable's suplex and stuff like that. And he seems to be having fun with it.
Yeah.
Him and Ricochet have good chemistry. They've clearly put the work in to, you know, look like a quality tag team. I think it's a good place for Braun Strowman right now. And obviously, anytime you need him for some type of singles thing, he can always easily just do that real quick and then go back. I think he's in a good place right now with it. And It was kind of also cool to see him do a come off the top rope with something, which was a bit of a nice piece of irony after, wasn't it him last year who criticized small people, calling them what?
Yeah.
I forgot what term he used on them.
Flippy doopy.
Yeah, the flippy dudes, and look who's coming off the top rope in this match.
He's a changed man. So
did we mention the Tower of Doom spot?
No, that was a good spot too.
Yeah, it was, but I feel like all of these matches have a spot like that anymore, and this one was a little better, but they sometimes seem so forced. Like, I fully expect we're going to see a similar spot in the women's match, and they have a lot to live up to. I wonder why they need to do everything male and female at the same time. You know, because you can't not compare the two, right? So you get this banger on night one, and you know, what do the ladies do to top that? You know, how can they? Because I don't expect that match to be as strong on paper. So I kind of feel like you put them behind the 8-ball to begin before the bell's even rung.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you in a sense. It's kind of unfortunate, not in terms of concept, but just in terms of execution. Like, they just don't have the women's match just doesn't quite have the competitors, in my opinion.
Yeah, they don't
to
have
be able to
tag teams.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but that's the fault of WWE. It's not the fault of the women themselves.
No.
WWE just has not invested in the women's tag division as much as they have in the men, which, does kind of leave them a bit behind, as you said, behind the 8-ball in terms of having to go out. So, it's hard not to try to compare the two showcases because obviously we do that when we have like men's Rumble versus women's Rumble and Elimination Chambers and the War Games matches. We've compared them. So, it's inevitable, but we also you could just kind of look at them on paper and just tell that one's clearly going to has better performance potential than the other. But I won't completely write off the women.
No,
Maybe exactly. We never know. We know who knows what they may pull out.
But back to Jay, you mentioned the Street Profits breaking up, which is inevitable. I thought this might have been a good spot to do it in, especially considering there were no stakes to the match, which I wish there had been. But it's not like there's a number one contendership on the line, so running an angle where a team breaks up kind of makes sense. They're not. Not really go. There's no end game for win. You don't get anything for winning this match, really. And not
don't. But you're right in the sense that they don't on paper, but they did on commentary mention multiple times that this could lead to a future tag title match. Sure. So it's kind of implied that it's going to be, which I don't know why they just implied it. They should have just made it a number one contenders match so that would have had stakes, rather than just implying it. But yeah, you can almost. I think it's almost certain that we're probably going to see Street Profits probably be one of the first people to challenge the champions in a match.
No, I agree with you, and I would hope that that's just for the Raw belts or something, and they split those belts up. But that's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah, it could either be that, or maybe that tag title challenge, if the Street Profits get it and lose, maybe that is the catalyst for the breakup that you've talked about.
Right. And it's not unprecedented for tag teams to break up at WrestleMania. If you look back at WrestleMania 5, you had Strikeforce breaking up. Tito Santana and Rick Martel against the Brainbusters. Martel walked out on Tito. So it's not unprecedented to see a tag team break up at a WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, 3.5 stars from me.
Okay. All right. Well, moving on here. Seth freaking Rollins defeated Logan Paul with KSI by pinfall. 16 minutes, 15 seconds. Seth Rollins came out in the weirdest fucking outfit I've ever seen him wear. I mean, I know that's his shtick, right? But, what the fuck was he wearing? He looked like a fruit roll-up, right? I have it in my notes. Fruit roll-up. What the fuck? And then, underneath he had, these pink rubber suspenders. I don't know what the hell.
He looked like Jeff. JRRETT.
Right? Is that who he was trying to look like? Because I was like, that's what I thought of. Yeah, well, that's what it reminded me of too.
Seth is just the latest in a long line of flashy professional wrestlers. You could go back to Jeff Jarrett. You can go back to Ric Flair.
Go back to Super. Shawn Michaels wearing half of the time.
Yeah. Right, Shawn Michaels. Old school superstar Billy Graham, guys of that nature who have always just been extra flashy with their looks.
Mm-hmm.
So, he's just the latest. He's keeping the legacy alive.
Right. And you know what though? As ugly and as terrible as it was, it's memorable, and it's something unfortunately, I would love to, but I can't forget.
And at least we can see his underwear.
Years from now, when Seth Rollins is inducted into the Hall of Fame, there will be a montage of all of his different outfits over the years. That will be part of his legacy.
Yeah.
He's a revolutionary, a visionary, and king of the drip.
Now, Logan Paul had his entrance very similar to Shawn Michaels' entrance. Does anybody know what WrestleMania I'm thinking of?
12.
With the zip line?
WrestleMania 12.
Yeah, 12.
All Michaels versus Bret Hart Iron Man match.
Which, to this day, I still enjoy that way more than what we got here. Logan Paul comes down in a zip line, but he has a headset on, and he's able to talk trash the whole way down. And
I was surprised they did it.
For his birthday, I guess, because he was like, it's my birthday.
But stuff like that had been all but written out of wrestling, it seems like, since Owen Hart. So I was surprised they even went that route. Now, granted, obviously there's advancements in, that level of
safety,
engineering, and safety and all that stuff. So it shouldn't be nowhere near as dangerous as it was. And we also know it's come out since then, some of the circumstances that kind of led to Owen's accident. So we know all that stuff, but still, it's something that this kind of, they haven't even even broached that since then. So I was kind of surprised to see them do it again.
I guess if there was an option, they were like, well, we're going to put either Logan Paul or we're going to put Seth up there, and Triple H is like, you kidding me? We're not going to put one of our own. Let's put that fucking YouTube guy up there. Fuck that. Entrance-wise between these two, memorable. Logan Paul is wearing like a bright yellow and blue. I don't know, remind me of like the 90s Wolverine or maybe Invincible. I'm sure I'm totally way off. Yeah. And then he came out with somebody in a blue Prime Energy drink bottle costume. And I thought, it's Jake Paul. Right? It's got to be, right? I mean, I thought, me personally, okay, they would have him interfere again to the point where it's like, all right, we're sick and tired of you interfering. Let's get you guys in a tag match and, somehow get your comeuppance. But, that's not the case at all. So to sum up this match, I mean, 2.5. I mean, I don't like Logan Paul, but he's very good in the ring, whether you like him or not, personality wise. For a guy to come from watching YouTube to being able to wrestle with some of the guys that he has, even with Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins, like, those are two good guys to be in the ring with, and all you are is a YouTube star. So there was a point where, in the end, Paul was looking for a curb stomp. Rollins countered it into a Liger bomb. As Rollins was looking for the stomp, KSI disguised himself in that Prime Energy drink bottle costume, came out and pulled Paul to safety. Paul then set Rollins up on the announce table. As he was looking for the frog splash to Rollins, Rollins then pulled KSI to the table, and Paul inadvertently hit the frog splash to KSI. As Paul was looking for a coast-to-coast, Rollins countered it into a super kick and hit the stomp to pick up the victory. So I was really happy to see that Seth got the win, because I didn't want to see Seth go into like well, if I can't beat him, then what am I even doing here? I didn't want to see him lose to Logan Paul, then go into like a depressing state of just losing matches. I was like, okay, good. So hopefully this feud is done with. We can move on from this. Trey, what do you think of this match? The flashy entrance. What do you think?
Well, the entrances were phenomenal. Obviously, they were good. Seeing Logan come down on the zip tie and talking smack, just getting the audience riled up beforehand, and then Seth Rollins coming out with, an outfit worthy of WrestleMania. That ain't the type of outfit you bring out for a Monday Night Raw or nothing like that. It's WrestleMania. You got to do it up. You got to take it to the next level. Seth Rollins fully understands that, and he did it in this show. The match itself was a good match. Logan Paul continues to impress me with how he's able to perform in the ring and not just rehash the same spots over and over again. You're seeing him, his little bit of growth as a wrestler each time he's in the ring. He adds a little bit something new to his repertoire of moves, and he doesn't just rest on, again, doing the same spots and match after match after match. So he's putting the work in, and it's showing in his matches. So he looks good in the ring. I'm glad to see that Seth got the win. I'm glad that they did not job Seth Rollins out to Logan Paul, especially after, again, where Seth Rollins has put in all the work over the last year. And, well, I won't say carried the company on his back, but he has been probably their MVP over the last year as far as just being a pure worker. So, and he deserves to be rewarded for that in the form of a win at WrestleMania. So it was good to see him get that. So now he can move on to whatever his next feud is going to be. And it was a nice spot with the table. That was kind of reminiscent of he did that at last year's WrestleMania, correct? Yeah. The table spot where he jumped off the turnbuckle to the table.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So reminiscent of last year's WrestleMania, which, Seth clearly had scouted, so he snatched his boy in the way, and he got to take it with the additional padding of being in that energy drink suit. So, yeah, thought it was a good match. It was entertaining. Glad to see Seth get the win, and I give it 3 stars.
Yeah. I totally forgot to bring up, beginning of Seth's entrance, he had a conductor come out. Doyle, do you want to talk about that?
Oh, yeah, that's what I was going to say. All this talk about how great the entrances were, and they were, I thought the best part was that conductor coming out. I thought that was fucking great. And I was actually getting ready to type in the Discord about how over I am with crowds singing along to theme music, not just for Seth, but for we're seeing it for more and more and more people now. Mm-hmm. And I'm over it. But that conductor came out, and I saw what they were doing, and I was like, okay, I take it back. This is fucking hilarious. I thought that was great.
Yep. Even seeing that conductor ham it up a bit for the camera.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was great. And I think the crowd was somewhat hampered by this all night. I think it's so big and so spread out, it doesn't sound that loud. And, I think from one side of the stadium to the other side, it's hard to hear the other side. So, sometimes they were off with chants, and they were kind of off with this conductor trying to lead them. So I don't know, that it's kind of a victim of your own success, right? Oh, we're trying to get 80,000 people to chant the same thing at the same time. Yeah. It's really fucking hard.
Plus, the audio track doesn't help when they're having to play the audio track over the audience and they're not fully in sync.
Yeah, right, exactly. I'm tired of this titanium screw as a deadly weapon gimmick, and it's not just Logan Paul. They've been doing this for years. It doesn't make any fucking sense. Anyone that's had a surgery or had to have something put back together with a screw, knows it doesn't make you fucking the bionic man or woman. My girl's got a couple screws in her foot. She kicks me about 400 times a night, and I'm fine. So this whole titanium screw thing, I think, is stupid. We need to get rid of that. But Logan Paul. I poo-pooed the shit out of him when he came in, and apparently his contract is up. And now I find myself hoping he sticks around because, like somebody said, that he gets better every time. Mm-hmm. He's way better at this than he has any right to be. Mm-hmm. He's clearly taking it seriously. He's obviously putting the work in. Now, granted, he's probably, his matches are probably scripted almost down to the move for move, But, as we've heard, so was Ricky Steamboat and Macho Man at WrestleMania 3, and that's often looked at as one of the greatest matches of all time. Well, apparently Macho Man famously, wanted to script out every single little bit of it. And I'm sure that's what's happening with the Logan Paul match. He's working, but he is working with the best of the best. Here with Rollins, before with Roman. But yeah, I mean, and as much as we always say, Seth doesn't really need the win. He needed the win here. And putting him over was the right thing to do. What continues going on with Logan Paul remains to be seen. I hope he comes back. But I give it 3 stars. I liked it. It was fun. I thought it would be higher on the card, though. Mm-hmm. The match order made no sense to me.
Yeah, because the next we have Trish Stratus, Lita, and Becky Lynch. They defeated Damage Control, Io Sky, Dakota Kai, and Bayley in a 6-woman tag team match that went on for 14 minutes, 40 seconds. Whew. Some of that ring rust kind of showed in this match.
Who did it?
I give this one a 2.5 stars. I mean, I did enjoy seeing Trish Stratus again. It's been quite some time. She did wear the same outfit she wore at WrestleMania 21, if anybody recalls.
Cole called it a modernized version. Does that mean it's less skimpy?
Yeah, I don't.
I think it was just, I think it was mostly the pants were different. I think in 21 she had like maybe like actual like some like a slack type thing, whereas these were just gray tights. So slightly different look, but more or less very reminiscent of her old outfit, which was one of my favorite outfits that she used to wear back in the day.
Oh yeah, absolutely. In closing stages, Stratus delivered a chick kick to Io Sky, and Lita hit the Lita Salt to Dakota Kai, and Becky Lynch got to deliver a top rope manhandle slam for the win. I mean, standard 6-woman tag match. I just give it a 2.5 stars. I mean, besides that top rope manhandle slam, there wasn't really some big spots. I mean, you got 2 of these women who are retired wrestlers, but yet one is the tag team champ. Nothing else kind of happened after that. I was kind of hoping maybe somebody somewhere we'd get a turn with somebody. Nothing happened, but these tag titles got to get off of Lita and Becky at some point. Maybe we'll see that happen, Raw or SmackDown. But I don't know. Can you guys remember any highlights from this match, Trey, besides the outfits and seeing some nice hotties during this match? Do we really have anything else to highlight here?
This match was the thing that stood out to me most of this match, which it was a decent enough match. It was, good enough. Got the faces went over. The crowd was happy. But the thing that stood out to me the most in this match was just the clear difference in the current active wrestlers and the 2 retirees, specifically Lita, which hurts me to say that as much as I love Lita. You could see that she's just, I won't say she ain't got it no more, because she can still she can still sell, she can still execute certain moves, but you can just see the age.
Right.
You can just see the age on her, and some things that are just slower, doesn't quite get the same level of elevation in certain moves. You can just see that, and it's more blatant, which is honestly kind of surprising given that she had what I thought was a really good match with Becky Lynch just last year at the Saudi Super Show. That match I thought was excellent, and she didn't look nowhere near as aged out in that match as she did in this one in the tag title match. Man, like when she went for that like poetry in motion in the corner, and she got zero spring off of Trish Stratus's back.
Boy, yeah. Oh God, yes.
Fell into the corner.
Yes, I do remember that terrible, god awful spot. It made me cringe a little. Yeah.
Yeah, it just looked bad. It's like, man, I don't know if it's from again lack of there was a lack of training for this match, if they just went at it or what it was. But yeah, some things just look bad. Trish did not look as rusty. Like, she came in and she obviously not prime Trish, but still looked capable. None of her spots looked bad. None of them looked rough. There, other than maybe like the one spot to the outside where Becky and Lita lifted her up on the front flip to grab Io and flip her off. That was kind of a little bit. The execution on that was a little bit off, but other than that, Trish looked fine in the ring. She looked like she could probably still have a strong singles match with anybody, but most of the match was very much carried by Becky Lynch and Damage Control. But other than that, it was a good enough match. I give it, probably 2.5 stars.
Cool. Doyle, what were you thinking?
We talked so much about entrances in the last match and didn't talk about Damage Control's entrance here, which was pretty cool, I thought, with the black and white and the rain. I thought that was pretty cool. But they've been a team for a while, and I don't think I'm not saying they need to all wear the same thing, but I feel like they should have looked a little more like a unit. They weren't, if they all had the same color scheme even or something like that, they would have looked more, I don't know, like official. And they still kind of just look thrown together. And, as we talked about, Seth, doesn't need a win, but it's a good thing he won. Damage Control needs a win. Or they just need to break up or something. Like they're going nowhere. And I don't know what the solution with them is, but it's just like, what are they doing? Nothing. Io Sky, I thought, stole the show in this one. She did like a missile drop kick to Becky pretty early in the match that just looked fucking brutal. She had that great, I guess it was a moonsault or something, I don't know, whatever it was, to the outside on top of everybody. That was great. But yeah, man, Lita looked awful. I'm sorry to say it. She did not look good, man. And when she got up for that, luckily she hit that moonsault all right. But when she got up there for it, I was like, oh no. Luckily that worked out all right. But yeah, I forgot that pretty recently she looked pretty good. I forgot about that Saudi show. I think Dre mentioned. But yeah, man, they got to get those belts off of them and do it soon. And I think I would expect it'll probably be the winner of the match this evening, but we'll talk about that when we talk about night 2. That's what they call a teaser in the business, kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 stars. That's it.
Yeah, that seems to be the direction that would seem to make the most sense to go in. And yeah, I agree with you. Io Sky she's been the shining one in Damage Control. Every time she gets in the ring, she just absolutely performs and shines. And I know WWE struggles with booking superstars who don't natively speak English.
Right.
But they got to figure that shit out.
Yeah.
'Cause they got some performers out here who absolutely deserve to be featured on a higher level and a higher profile, and not just as accessories to someone else. They deserve to shine individually, and Io Sky is one of them. Oh, she deserves if they break up Damage Control at some point in the next year.
Right.
I don't want to see a performer as good as Io Sky just fall by the wayside.
Exactly.
I mean, for me, she was the clear MVP of that match, and
oh yeah.
And that's saying a lot when you got Becky in there, you got Bayley in there, you got 2 Hall of Famers in there, and I guess Dakota was also there. I feel like she's going to get lost in the shuffle whenever happens to Damage Control happens to them.
Right.
Because Io Sky, I think, is could be a star. Bayley's already a star, and I don't know. Dakota seems like a lackey at best. Mm-hmm. One thing I did want to say that I forgot, that finish. What the fuck were Lita and Trish doing to poor Becky at the end there? Now, she reversed she was about to get a Bayley to belly off the top or off the second rope, and Lita and Trish were just going to let it happen until Becky managed to reverse it into the manhandle slam there. But like, what? They were just standing around watching it, like no attempt to help, nothing. So
just standing. Yeah, that's a product of a bad camera shot.
Yeah, so.
Clearly we probably weren't meant to see that, but given that we did see it, it looked so obvious that they're just sitting there like, "You good up there, Becky? You all right?" Meanwhile, she's about to get pancaked on the mat.
Right. Oh my gosh.
That just seemed really sloppy.
Yeah. The camera work tonight was not perfect.
Mm-mm.
It was good, but there were some noteworthy shots that were off. One of which we'll get to later.
They do have a kind of cool thing that they're doing when somebody goes off the top rope to the outside, where they have the camera like on the ground.
Right.
So I've seen them because when they give you the reverse angle, you see the guy holding the camera on the ground. But I've seen them do that a couple times. They did that a couple times last night, and I think that's pretty cool. But yeah, there were a couple glitches in the Matrix last night for sure.
All right, let's take a quick break here, and then we will come back and we will kick off with Rey Mysterio versus Dominic.
Booyaka, booyaka!
Yeah, did you said it?
Meg, you look so different.
How was prison?
First question. Who's the biggest, toughest guy in this house?
Well, I don't like to toot my own horn, but I believe I hold the distinction of...
My house now, bitch! Now who's the funniest?
I know my way around a joke.
For God's sake, Dad, have some humility. It'll save your life.
There better be beer in the fridge. Hey.
Meg! What the hell are you doing in here?
Shower time.
Yeah, for me, not for... What are you doing with that loofah?
Don't worry about it.
Ah! You told me not to worry about it! I should have been worried the whole time!
Meg, honey, I did all your laundry. Oh my God, what is that smell?
It's my poop bucket.
What the hell?
I'm used to going to the bathroom in my room.
That's disgusting. No, you use the toilet here like everyone else.
No.
God, it smells horrible. Well, can you at least empty it each time you use it?
I like to fill it up. I'm not making a million trips.
Oh my God, are you using my shirts as toilet paper?
Yeah, and I think I might need some right now. Get out now or stay and get weird. Your call, Warden.
Hey, who's the new dude?
Oh my God, that's Meg Griffin. She just got out of prison.
Hey, Meg, what'd they put you in jail for? Being ugly?
Hey, Meg, what happened? Did you get out early for fat behavior?
Nice tattoo. Did you get your butt hair braided too while you were in there?
What'd you do, carve a gun out of soap and then not wash with it? Haha, pee you.
Hey, Meg, are you gonna take those soda cans to the Shaw Skank Redemption Center?
Peter, Meg's been suspended from school.
That's okay, whatever she wants to do.
She cracked 3 kids' skulls open. Ever since she's gotten out of prison, she's completely out of control.
Don't you see, that's what the penal system does in this country. It turns small-time offenders into hardened criminals. Look at Meg. They took an innocent little girl and turned her into a psychotic, sociopathic freak.
What'd you say, Brian?
Oh, I was just picking up on something Lois said. What was it? What'd you say, Lois? Something about Meg being a freak?
Oh, no. I didn't say anything. Peter said something about Meg, which I completely disagree with.
That wasn't me. Stewie was really laying into Meg about something.
Yeah, it was Stewie.
Definitely Stewie.
Oh, so now everyone understands me.
Look, Meg, we're just worried about you.
Well, don't. I can take care of myself. I'll be out of here by the end of the week. Punch yourself in the face. Punch yourself in the face! All right, he doesn't know what he's doing. You fatso, punch your baby in the face!
I did good, Meg?
Shut up.
I did good. I did good.
And we're back. Alright, guys. Let's move on now. We're going to get to Rey Mysterio versus Dominic. This had such a long build-up. They kind of pulled the trigger on the actual match, like maybe like a few days prior, like really like right up to it. I think this feud was so great, such a great build to it. What really pushed Rey to the limit to really lay hands on his son was when he told his mom to shut up when he insulted his mom. So having the whole Rey Mysterio family involved played pretty well to it. Everybody played their part pretty well. The mom, even the daughter. But yeah, I mean, entrance-wise, they both had great entrances. We get the great promo, the whole video promo of everything that's been going on this feud with Ray there for the Hall of Fame, for the invading his house, even being there for Christmas. And I mean, I think we've dealt with a couple holidays so far with the Mysterios. I felt like I'm part of the family because I've been to so many family events with the Mysterios, you know? And we've seen, like, Dominic since he's been, like, a small child. Like, I was like, holy crap, like, we've known Dominic for so long, you know, if you've been watching since the Ruthless Aggression era, since, you know, when there was the feud with Eddie Guerrero. But the whole gimmick of Dominic getting locked up and stuff is very silly, but the gimmick is working more and more because this entrance he got at WrestleMania was just great for him. You know, they have two police come out on bikes, and they escort this correction facility van. It's with the lights go on and stuff, and they back it up, and then it makes you think like, oh man, they're getting, are they getting Goldberg out? Like, are they getting a monster? Are they getting a beast? They're getting Dominic Mysterio. He's just sitting in there, but I don't know about you guys, but I think he looked good with the mask on. I was like, damn, can we just have Dominic just keep the mask on? Because he looked pretty good with it. I mean, like heel Dominic, keep the mask on. It kind of worked for him, I think.
It was a cool look.
It was.
It being purple and matching up with the Judgment Day gear.
Yes.
But I think him rocking the mask like that, to me, is kind of a babyface move.
How about just for his entrances? Like this, and then he takes it off when he wrestles. I don't know, because I was thinking of just rubbing it in, because I guess not. Maybe if he won this match, then he'd be wearing the mask, maybe even. But I guess not.
Yeah, I think it's kind of hard to do because, with luchadors, the mask is a significant thing. It means a lot. There's some wrestling luchadors who have never been seen in public without their mask on, whether they were wrestling or not, and even Ray, it's been a thing with him. And yes, we know about the Filthy Animals time and stuff like that. But I think even Ray has spoken out in the past about how much he did not like that part and the fact of him being out there unmasked and such. So, him putting on a mask to come to the ring and then taking it off, I don't know. To me, that scheme seems kind of disrespectful, almost to a certain extent, to the mask past and such, or to that legacy of masked wrestlers. So, and since he's already started off just being Dom and not being a masked wrestler, I don't know if it makes sense for him to go suddenly become one now. I think it was just a good spot for the night, kind of showing him kind of mocking his dad, and that was it. I'm content with it where it was.
Following Dominic's entrance, we get Rey Mysterio's entrance. He comes out in a lowrider with Snoop Dogg driving, which I thought was great. Does anybody know what Ray was cosplaying as, like his outfit? Because I know he does that a lot. He likes to cosplay something for his WrestleMania outfits, but I couldn't put my finger on it.
I thought it was maybe a nod to Great Muta. Like, it kind of looked like a Muta mask a little bit. But also, it kind of harkened back to his time when he was in Lucha Underground. He wore kind of a padded kind of mask similar to that. I thought they were going to do the gimmick where Dominic was going after. He didn't even go after the mask, did he? I thought for sure he was going to try to pull it off, and I thought maybe he'd get it off, but Ray would have another mask underneath that, and that's.
What's that? What was that?
I don't know. Is it where you're at the airport all of a sudden? Oh,
jeez.
I thought, Yeah, I thought he'd have, the gimmick where they pull the mask off and he has another mask underneath it.
Mm-hmm.
Because it looked weird, right? It looked bigger or padded or something.
It did. It looked slightly different. Slightly different. I can't really... Maybe the mouthpiece was cut out differently. I think so. The mouthpiece was cut differently. So you might be right. Maybe the Great Muta homage.
Yeah. Oh, sorry about that, y'all. I live a few miles away from a military base, so every now and then those fighter jets fly around and doing their maneuvers and shit.
I thought the pyro from Wrestlemania was going off in the background of your house. Jesus. That was great.
That's just our tax dollars going towards the military.
Oh, man.
Their exercises and such. I don't know. The color scheme kind of gave me harken back to his old Flash outfit.
Right.
He wore at one WrestleMania was back. Too. Yeah, I don't know if he was trying to cosplay anything specific. I think he just chose to have different, that WrestleMania exclusive outfit.
Dominic's mask was Halloween Havoc 97.
Yeah, the Ray Phantom mask.
Yeah.
Because,
oddly enough, after the Fight's Hall of Fame ceremony on Peacock, if you kept the stream up, they showed some old Rey Mysterio matches throughout his career, and one of the matches they showed was Rey versus Eddie at that Halloween.
I was gonna say we also at WrestleMania 21 was Rey versus Eddie.
Angle.
No, it was him versus Eddie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
they
21
had that one too, and they had the I think there was a SummerSlam match between Ray and Eddie with the custody of Dom on the line.
Dominic's custody papers on
They showed that one. They showed the match between him and Kurt Angle, which I think was also a SummerSlam match. Yeah, they showed a bunch of highlight ones. But yeah, specifically they showed that Halloween Havoc one between him and between Ray and Eddie, where Ray had the Phantom outfit on. And man, that match still holds up to this day.
Yeah.
That was the mask Dom was wearing.
Right. The part where as the match starts, the part where they're like literally face to face, like talking, and Ray's like talking trash. It just looks hilarious because he's just like in his looking up at Dom. He's like, "I'm going to spank you!" Like, so I was just laughing because of the size difference between the two. So I got what I wanted. I even called it, I think, on Discord before it happened. I was like, I just want to see Ray just spank Dominic. Dominic just needs his ass spanked once. So he legit took off his fucking belt and spanked Dominic in this match, which I thought was great because I was dying. I was laughing. It's like, dude, your dad's going to whoop your ass. Literally whoop your ass, This is the second father-son fight at WrestleMania. Do you guys know what the first father-son fight was? And when?
Father-son fight. Well, ain't too many sons who have been in it, so you could. I don't think Randy and Cowboy Bob ever fought.
Nope.
Not them. I don't think Rikishi's ever fought any of his Uso kids. So that, I think they would be out. Dusty. I don't think Dusty ever fought Goldust or Cody. And
oh man!
As far as other father-son,
is it the McMahons?
Oh man!
Yeah, I'll say it had to be Vince and Shane.
Vince and Shane. Yeah, sorry, I should have been just playing the music in the background. But like now, when?
Oh, that would have been WrestleMania 19.
Nope.
Or 20?
Nope. Nope.
It wasn't. It was one of those. It was around that time. Was it 17?
7?
I knew it was one of those because I remember the spot where Shane basically did the post-to-post trash can dropkick spot on his dad.
Yeah. It's been a while since we'll probably get another one in like 10 years or something, right? It'll be a while. We'll probably get another one.
Need another kid to come up.
Yeah. The Rock's daughter. The Rock's daughter. It could be The Rock versus his daughter in a mixed match. I don't know. Anyway, in the climax of this match, Ray delivered a 619 to Dominic and was looking for the frog splash, but Damian Priest, who I thought would have came out during this match. Finn Balor, though, surprising. I didn't think Finn would be out, but I guess since he didn't have a match, that night. I mean, I guess he was available, right? Them coming out and trying to mess up this match, but recently. Before this, we saw Ray reform the Latino World Order. Like, dude, when they dropped the shirts and they flipped them around, I was like, oh, yeah. Legado del Fantasma came out for the save here and got involved and took a beat down to Finn Balor and Priest. Unbeknownst to the referee, Dominic then pulled out a chain, by the way, aiming to hit it, knock Ray out. I did forget to mention Bad Bunny was serving as a guest on the Spanish announcers table, commentator, and I was like, you know what, like, he's probably going to get involved in this match at some point, and he did. He made sure he took that chain away, so Dom couldn't use it. But then Ray was able to deliver the 619 and hit the frog splash for the 3 count. After that, Ray celebrated with Legado and embraced his family. Because we saw there's also a scene where Dom, like, I want to point out during the match, took like water and like splashed it on his sister and stuff. I thought that was funny. Unnecessary, but funny. 3.5 stars. I kind of enjoyed this match. It's finally done. Like, does Ray stick around with the LWO now? Do we not see Ray for a while? And what happens to a Dom now? He took there's no harm in Dom taking a loss to his dad, not at all. And if that's his dad's like last match against his son, then so be it. And he got the win over his son. He won't even give Dom the fucking win. But Dre, what did you think of this match?
I thought this was a good match. It was a fitting, hopefully a fitting conclusion to this feud. Well, I take that back. I won't say a fitting conclusion to this feud because I feel like this feud ultimately does have to win with Dom going over Ray and presumably Dom being the one to put Ray down and put him into retirement. But for this chapter, for it went down the way it should for their first confrontation together. I don't think this will be the last between these two. It was an entertaining match. The Judgment Day coming out to help Dom was predictable. LWO coming out to help Ray was equally predictable. For me, the most important part of this match for me was the question of could Dom hold his own in a singles match on a big stage? Because throughout his career so far, Dom has either been paired up with Ray or paired up with the Judgment Day. He hasn't really had to stand on his own in a match and pretty much carry the match from beginning to end. And he did not have to do it entirely in this match, obviously with the outside interference. But for the most part, this match was pretty much Ray and Dom one-on-one. And I thought Dom did well. I thought he performed well. He showed that he has grown as a wrestler and that he can hold his own in a match. He had a few good spots. He had a really good spot where, what was it? Was it a counter move or something like that where he slammed Ray's face into the bottom turnbuckle? And
we flipped him over basically. I know what you mean. And he catapulted his face to the lower turnbuckle. I was like, holy shit. I thought Ray was busted open.
I think Ray was a little bit. It looked like he had a little bit of a busted lip or something, or a injury above his lip. But yeah, that was like a sick spot in the match. But like I said, to me, the most important part of this was to see that Dom could hold his own as a singles wrestler in a match on a big stage. And he did that. He looked good in the match. Even though he didn't come out on top, he did look good. So I give him credit for that. I give the match 3 stars. It was a good match. Moving forward, again, I don't think this will be the last match between Ray and Dom. I don't think this feud is over with. I think one way or another, the final conclusion will come with some sort of retirement match or something like that. But I think this feud has to end with Dom going over Ray at some point. As far as Ray moving forward, after this match, I want to see more with him in the LWO. I think after this, he can kind of gradually start to phase himself out of being a full-time wrestler. He can kind of start to take a bit more of a backseat, maybe be more of a mentor or godfather type role for the LWO, and hopefully give those guys some shine and let them start to elevate themselves. They've shown themselves to be good competitors. Zelina Vega is a grossly underutilized women's wrestler. She could absolutely go in the ring. And hopefully Ray can give them the rub to help push them towards the forefront and help them get a little bit more of a featured prominent spot on the shows.
All right. Doyle.
I just wanted to correct myself. I think I attributed the cartoon black and white rain entrance to Damage Control. It was the other team. Sorry about that. But as far as Ray versus Dom goes, man, nothing, and I mean nothing, as ultimate grudge match like Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I'm just going to say it. I mean, Jesus Christ. Do we really need to fucking have product placement and everything? But yeah, as we said, both entrances were awesome. I was surprised to see Finn. Dominic has a ways to go yet inside the ring, but man, does he have everything else down pat. Like, that spot where he threw the drink at his sister, right? Was kind of reminiscent of something AEW just did, where they had a heel MJ kid crowd. But right before that, he said to his mom, "Are you going to let him do this to me?" Like,
she slapped him too.
I thought that was great. As far as in the ring, it doesn't hurt that he's got one of the greatest of all time holding his hand through the match. So the match itself was perfectly adequate.
Right.
But it wasn't really about the match. It was about the story. And in that aspect, this delivered above and beyond what I even thought we were going to get. I would go 3 3/4 stars on this. I thought it was really great, and I think this is just the beginning of their story, or maybe the middle of their story. Certainly not the end. I would absolutely expect to see them. The next pay-per-view is in Puerto Rico. Bad Bunny is the host. Bad Bunny got involved in this match. I would thoroughly expect to see Ray and Dom again in Puerto Rico. It remains to be seen what's going on with the Judgment Day. I could even see like a Judgment Day versus LWO match, maybe. Like we said, remains to be seen what's going on with Judgment Day. But yeah, I would certainly expect them to square off at least one more time, if not more, maybe a retirement match down the road somehow. And you can even, all you got to do if you want to get Dom back as a face is just have him reconcile at the end. It's that easy. And I think he could get just as much babyface pop as the kid is a heat magnet. Clearly knows what he's doing, and he's got that aspect of the game down.
Absolutely, yeah.
So yeah, he is improved. If we're gonna give out an award for most improved, I think he would probably get that for sure. I didn't think so. The first year or two of Dom, I was like, Jesus Christ, this kid's going fucking nowhere. And as soon as he doesn't have Ray anymore, he's gonna sink. And I think I may have been wrong about that. The kid might stick around. He might have a future. But it remains to be seen what's going to happen with him. But, yeah, this is perfectly fine. Good match. But, like we said, that wasn't the point.
Mm-hmm.
And I expect to see these guys go at it again a couple times.
Yeah. Dom has a long road ahead of him. I think it's too early to say whether he has it or whether he's actually going to go somewhere or not. I think he's got, and when I say long road ahead of him, I don't necessarily mean long road in terms of development and progress and all that stuff. Obviously, he does have development and progress, but I mean long road in terms of room to grow and the length of his career. He's still very young, so he still has plenty of years to develop and refine his character into whatever it may ultimately be. We've seen that with plenty of other stars in the past where they started and where they ended were two completely different places. So I think we see the potential now in Dom, now that he has gotten a bit out from underneath his father and has started to establish himself as a singles competitor. I think this match was a good starting point. It's a genesis to me for him as a singles competitor. And it'll be interesting to see where he goes from here.
All right.
Well, he can go a lot of places. I could see him taking over the LWO somehow.
Corrupt them then. So, all right, guys. Well, following that match, they had a nice 14 minutes, 55 seconds. We get Rhea Ripley going against Charlotte Flair for the SmackDown Women's Championship. They got 23 minutes, 35 seconds. We know a couple years ago, Rhea tried to do this before and beat Charlotte. She did not make it. She lost. And I guess the story for this is Rhea finally getting that W over Charlotte. At WrestleMania. Three and a half stars. It was good, but I mean, it's about the story. So now that she beat Charlotte, where do you go just up from here? Hopefully Charlotte can go do something else now. Maybe she doesn't have to be, maybe they do a draft and she gets drafted somewhere else. Charlotte Flair defends its SmackDown Women's Championship against Rhea. As Rhea was looking for her Riptide finish move, Charlotte reversed it into a DDT. Charlotte was looking for the figure 8 leg lock, but Rhea escaped from it. Ripley then delivered a top rope German suplex for the 2 count. Flair then attempted a spear, but Rhea moved out of the way and delivered a headbutt, and it hit Riptide for the 2 count. Charlotte then was able to climb to the top rope looking for a fallaway slam, but Rhea slammed Charlotte's head into the top of the ring post. I'm not sure if that's where she got busted open. Allowed her to hit an avalanche Riptide to become the new champion, making Rhea the first woman to pin Charlotte at WrestleMania. And not only that, Rhea Ripley also became the first female superstar to have won the NXT UK, Raw, and SmackDown Women's Championships, as well as the Women's Tag Team. Rhea spoke about her incredible achievement during the post-WrestleMania Night 1 press conference. She said, like you said, history. I'm here to make history. Growing up in South Australia, I always got told that my dream of coming to the WWE would probably never happen. So just making it here is such an accomplishment. But being the first Grand Slam champion I have to have those exact championships is so satisfying. I'm extremely proud of myself and my journey here to the WWE, and then my journey here within the WWE. Yeah. So, what a great win for her. Hopefully she holds on to it for a while. It's kind of nice to see some change. It did feel like for a hot minute, maybe Charlotte was just the transitional champion, just putting the strap on her right before WrestleMania. It seemed like the quick switcheroo. They were able to make a quick feud out of this, rekindle an old feud. Charlotte can just rekindle basically an old feud with almost anybody now on the roster, considering she's, tussled with almost everybody on the roster. So I don't know where Charlotte goes from here, and just nothing but, going up for Rhea. Dre, what did you think of this match? The Charlotte match.
This, for my money, was the match of the night.
Okay.
This match had it. It's rare that we get a truly hard-hitting, real slugfest of a match between women, like on this level, where these two large women competing and executing like almost flawlessly, and just so many high-impact, heavy-hitting spots, one after the other, where these two just beat the living shit out of each other to the end. Again, I saw the Rhea win. To me, was inevitable. I always thought that when they brought Charlotte back and she immediately took the title from what was it, Ronda Rousey? Immediately, like the day she came back, I figured she was kind of a transitional champion. So Rhea's win did not surprise me. I just wanted to see a good match out of it, and they absolutely delivered that from bell to bell. This was an absolute, to quote JR, a slobber knocker. So many spots in this match were good. Like when Rhea hit the German suplex, then flipped Charlotte to where she landed on her face. That's actually where Charlotte got the shiner from, on her nose. That spot looked nuts. The avalanche riptide to finish her was nuts. The only complaint I have about it, and it's really a slight nitpick, is just the fact that they kind of protected Charlotte's figure 8 finisher.
Mm-hmm.
Because she never got it on Ripley in the entire match. And when she went for it, the one time she went for it, Rhea got to the ropes before it was even able to be sunk in. That's my only gripe. Like, for these two to have given everything to each other, have done so much in this match and hit everything, thrown the practical kitchen sink at each other, they could have let Rhea sustain the figure 8 finisher and get out of it. I felt like they kind of didn't let it happen just to protect that finisher and protect Charlotte to a certain extent, which I kind of didn't like. But again, that's just a minor nitpick. Other than that, this match was the match of the night. Like I said, for me, it was a banger from start to finish. And I'm not the hugest fan of Charlotte Flair. Like, I don't dislike her or anything like that. I'm just not a huge fan for her. But I'm happy for her in this match, because she's kind of had some very lackluster matches over maybe the last year plus. This is probably the best match I've seen her have in a good while. And even after the match, as she was outside of it, you could see her, as Rhea's in the ring celebrating, you could see Charlotte had a smile on her face. And I think she had a smile on her face because she knew of just how good of a match her and Rhea had put on. And I think even she knew that this was one of her best matches that she's had in quite some time, especially after having had to work with Ronda Rousey at last year's WrestleMania. And then she gets to go out and put on this, phenomenal match with Rhea Ripley. Yeah, I'm happy for Charlotte. She absolutely executed. She showed that she still has it. She can still go with the best of them when she's given a good opponent to work with. And I think there's an argument to be made on which match is better between this match between Charlotte and Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair and Becky Lynch's match from WrestleMania last year, which to me are two of the best matches I've seen between women in arguably a long time. At least since I've started back watching wrestling, those are the two best matches I've seen. And there's an argument to be made between which one is the better of the two.
Yeah. Doyle.
Yeah, Charlotte's bubble goose robe was certainly a thing that she wore.
She looked like a huge winter jacket, like one of those. Yeah, it just looked like a winter jacket. Just kept going and going and going.
Like if it had been from the Yukon or something, that would have made sense, but not so much in Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I pretty much agree with Dre all the way. Other than starting off kind of slow, which is really the only demerit I would give this. I thought this was the match of the night in terms of work rate. Anyway, it was hard to imagine Rhea losing, but with Charlotte in there, you never know. But yeah, I mean, I definitely in the conversation as the greatest women's match in WrestleMania history, no doubt about it. It's what's interesting to me is what happens going forward, as we were saying. Rhea is now the SmackDown champion, but she's on Raw, and Judgment Day, all the rest of Judgment Day, also on Raw. So it'll be interesting to see. And now, and as we kind of predicted, I think Rhea was getting the babyface reaction, and Charlotte was getting the heel heat, and that's kind of how the match played out. And so you've got a Raw talent with the SmackDown title who's now a babyface, can we say?
Right.
Is aligned with a heel stable that's on Raw. Like, something's got to give here. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's Rhea leaving Judgment Day. I don't know if it's Judgment Day ceasing to exist. So I don't know. There's a lot of different directions this can go, but I think Charlotte belongs on Raw. Be nice to see her go back over there. Rhea can run amok on SmackDown, get some fresh matchups we maybe haven't seen in a while. But yeah, 4.5 stars. This is the match of the night in terms of work rate, anyway.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Like I said, they sold for each other so damn well. Like, I'm even replaying it right now.
That DDT that Rhea took was fucking. She sold the shit out of that. She looked
right.
That flip. She got like somersaulted, flipped, and
right
she
on
landed right on. Yeah, holy
right on her
shit.
face.
Yeah, holy crap.
They made each other look like $1 million in that ring, and not just from move to move, even just in between moves, just selling how much these two have just beat the crap out of each other, and just both of them just looking absolutely spent at the end of the match, just really selling the impact of how much these two are just laying into each other, just beating the hell out of each other. That ring post spot before the Avalanche Riptide, where Charlotte practically sold it for dead. She just laid up there just as a dead body. I mean, everything about this match, again, was just pure top notch.
Right.
As far as where they go from the future, I mean, like Triple H and them can't be oblivious to what's happening right now. They clearly see that Rhea is getting face pops. She's getting that face reaction. So how long are they going to try to delay what seems to be the inevitable of Rhea Ripley becoming a face again? How long do they keep her in Judgment Day? Do they begin to start the split post WrestleMania? Do they keep her with Dom? Do they break her and Dom off as baby faces? I don't see how that happens because Dom is way too good as a heel right now. So does she eventually leave Dom? I mean, it's going to be interesting to see where they go from here because, clearly Charlotte works better as a heel, in my opinion. And Rhea Ripley is on the path towards being a babyface. So it'll be very interesting to see, one, how long they drag it out, or do they just quickly pull the trigger and go full on in with Rhea as a babyface.
Sure. And as far as Charlotte goes, you got to stop giving her world title reigns, because what is she up to now?
14?
12, 13, 14? Like, what is she? What are they just going to keep doing this, and she's going to end up with 30, and then who the fuck is going to be able to beat that?
Right. Yeah, and they kind of need to stop protecting her.
I wouldn't mind seeing her maybe forming a tag team and getting involved in the tag team title, right? Like that might help elevate those titles if they're going to keep sticking with that. Or if they go with the secondary title route, maybe her getting involved in that. But you can't keep giving her these, especially like, how long was she champion? 3 months? Like,
yeah, she can't. Yeah, she can't live permanently in the title picture. Like, she could feud with other people, either a non-title feud or she's at the point now where she can start to be used to elevate some of the up and coming talent.
And you can't just have her go away for a couple of months. She just came back from being away for a couple of months.
Right. So she needs to be involved in something.
Yeah, but you can't keep giving her title reigns.
Right. Maybe, or if she is in a title picture, then she needs to be in it where she loses.
Yes.
You know, who knows? Maybe, like you said, with the supposed draft coming up soon, maybe she does transfer over to Raw. Maybe she becomes Bianca Belair's next opponent if Bianca survives Asuka today on night 2.
Even if she doesn't, I mean that could be a good number 1 contenders program.
Yeah. I think Charlotte and Bianca could make for a pretty good feud.
Yeah. Right.
But then again, maybe they do keep her on SmackDown because SmackDown does need the star power. Because truth be told, if you take Bianca off SmackDown, I mean not Bianca, if you take Charlotte off of SmackDown, who the hell is on that roster that can stop Rhea Ripley?
Exactly. Well, yeah, we don't know yet because there was discussion of that maybe doing a draft, and we got a lot of people returning, so who knows? Moving on, guys. Oh man, the best match of the night, 3 minutes 40 seconds right here. No, not at all. We had I had it. I just lost my place here. I had it highlighted. Okay. Wrestlemania hosts The Miz and Snoop Dogg then come out to announce the attendance of the night at 80,497. Snoop Dogg then told The Miz that he should have a match. This brought out the returning Pat McAfee. So yeah, I kind of popped for Pat McAfee coming out, but as soon as he came out, I knew it was going down. Snoop Dogg, as the host, then made the match official in the closing stages to this match. The Miz started mocking the San Francisco 49ers player George Kittle, who was a spectator at ringside. Kittle then jumped the barricade. There we go again. Another fan jumping a barricade, just attacking a wrestler, and hits Miz, unbeknownst to the referee. So, and then McAfee then delivered a swanton to the Miz on the outside. McAfee then hit the punt to the Miz to win the match. After the match, McAfee celebrated with Kittle. Whatever. It was a buffer. It was cool to see him back for a hot minute. 2 stars. 2 stars, I guess. 2.5 stars. Dre, what are you thinking?
It was a thing. It happened. It was an little entertainment spot for the fans. That's it. It's nothing noteworthy to talk about.
Yeah. Doyle?
Yeah, I mean, I am not a big Pat McAfee fan. I love the city of Pittsburgh. I lived there. I went to school there. But fuck, that accent is like nails on a chalkboard. And Pat McAfee has it thick. And I'm not a huge fan. I mean, this was what it was. It was. This felt like Vince, right? Yeah, I mean, you needed some kind of buffer between the women's match and the main event. And this served as that. And I mean, I don't even want to give it a rating because it wasn't really anything.
Yeah, I know. It's hard to rate something like this. All right, after that, we did see a ad for next year's WrestleMania. I've been waiting for this ad because it's going to be at the Lincoln Financial Field, which is almost just about an hour from me. Doyle, how far is the Lincoln Financial Field from you for WrestleMania 40? How far is that going to be?
I could probably walk there in about half an hour.
Half an hour. So as soon as the kickoff show starts, you can just start hiking it. So the plan is next year is to get together, Dave and a bunch of other listeners, and just get a group. And the goal is to get to WrestleMania, our road to WrestleMania. It really starts now. When I mean our road to WrestleMania, it means our road to saving our money, to paying for these goddamn tickets.
I already set up a lemonade stand at the end of my blog.
Yes. Trying to figure out also like what nights we're going, where we're going to sit, where the Raw after is going to be held. There's so much stuff to factor in. It's already a mess, and it's a year away, and it's already like panic mode has set in. Like, oh my god, I gotta get tickets, and like, where are we getting tickets, and who's even gonna be there? Is The Rock gonna be there? I don't know. What other legends are gonna be there? Who knows? But yeah, after that, we finally move on to the match of the night, the main event. What was weird is, going into this, I thought, from what I heard from rumors, is that Charlotte and Rhea were going to be the main event. I don't know if that was true all the way up till, or if anybody else heard that rumor or news, but that's who I thought was going to main event. But no, we got Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn going against the Usos for the Tag Team Undisputed Championship. This went on for 24 minutes, 15 seconds. For me, this was the match of the night. I give this, like 4.5 stars. The build up for this storyline is like, if you could sum it up into like a short film, the video package for they did a very good job summing up so much of this together. With
WWE on their YouTube channel released a 2-hour history of the Bloodline video. That's how long it could have been.
Yeah. Like, it's long. It's long. I can sit here all day and tell you the highlights of the. If you don't know the history of Sami Zayn, the Bloodline, then where have you been? Under a rock the past? You know what I mean? If you're watching any kind of wrestling, even if you're strictly an AEW fan, I swear you have to hear, rumblings of this in some way, shape, or form. The Usos have been tag team champions for a very, very long time. I forgot the number that was said. It was a very long time that they were holding it, like basically setting the bar. And Kevin and Sami have never held the tag team titles together in WWE. So, throughout the years, if you know their friendship from NXT all the way to this point, they've been friends, they've been allies, they've been enemies. We've seen them turn on each other multiple times, and normally it's always Kevin. So for this to come full circle and see these guys on the same page again, and Sami was unsuccessful at the Elimination Chamber acquiring the titles from Roman. So we were all content that this is where it was going. And I think, like, with how much emotion was in this match and how much we have history and with the storyline, like, it just meant so much when they finally win it. Let me just rattle off here what's written down here for the main event. In the main event, the Usos defended the titles against Owen and Sami Zayn. Jimmy delivered an Uso splash to Owens for a 2 count. Sami Zayn then delivered a brainbuster to Jay on the outside, allowing Owens to deliver a swanton bomb for a 2 count. Jimmy and Jay then delivered multiple super kicks to Zayn for the 2 count. Brutal super kicks. Like, if you haven't been drinking during WrestleMania and you wanted a drinking game, this would have been the match. Drink every time there's a super kick. It was a super kick party. Like, I felt like I was watching a little bit of AEW. But honestly, at this time, it would have been close to midnight on the East Coast. So, like, I was beat, but trying to stay alive for this match. It's exhausting how long these pay-per-views have become. where was I? Then Owens was looking for a powerbomb to Jimmy. Jay broke it up with the Usos delivering a double chokeslam to Owens through the announce table. That was a good spot. Meanwhile, back in the ring, the Usos delivered super kicks to Sami Zayn, hitting the 1D for a 2 count, which is the first time somebody's ever kicked out of the 1D. Jay then hit Sami Zayn with the haluva kick, which is Sami's usual finishing move. Sami then delivered an exploder suplex, which, I mean, the name of the move is exactly how it's given. It's an exploding move that comes out of nowhere. And I always like when he delivers it because he's beaten down. He gives that exploding suplex into the turnbuckle to change the tide here. And then when he did that, he was able to get the hot tag to Kevin Owens, and Kevin Owens was able to come in and do a couple pop-up power bombs to the Usos, allowing Sami Zayn to hit the haluva kick to Jimmy, and Owens hitting the stunner to Jay for the 2 count. And that there had me, because I thought this was it, but they kicked out. They kicked out. And as Owens was looking for another pop-up power bomb, Jay escaped, and along with his brother, hit the double super kick to Owens. As the Usos were looking for the super 1D off the top rope, Sami Zayn pulled Jimmy to the floor, allowing Owens to hit an avalanche fisherman buster to Jay. Owens then hit the stunner to Jimmy, and Sami Zayn delivered 3 haluva kicks to Jay, which, for the record, it's to the right guy too. The right guy made the right pin, and the right guy took the pin from the right person. I thought the story all came together very well. With Jay taking the pin, it's this made Owens also a Grand Slam winner. For me, match of the night. I mean, the cracks are there, the crumbling, the foundation of the bloodline has crumbled, and now everything above it is gonna come crashing down. And what's above it? Roman Reigns. I mean, we're only night 1, guys. Dre, this match. Tell me how you feel.
Well, this wasn't the match of the night for me. Again, I gave that to Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair.
Fair enough.
From an emotional standpoint, this match delivered. And movie might have been a Freudian slip because this basically is played out like a movie. This entire bloodline storyline with Sami and the bloodline. It's definitely been, the whole bloodline storyline period has been one of the best stories in wrestling for the last 2 years. It has truly been that. It is delivered in ways that no other storyline has delivered in a long time. And it's all coming to a head here at WrestleMania, and this match was a climax. It happened. It had all of the emotional context to it in terms of Sami and Jay and their determination to finally put him down and just beating the unholy hell out of Sami Zayn. Literally a freaking symphony of sweet chin music was played on Sami Zayn's face throughout this match in terms of how much they just kicked the crap out of him. I agree with you that the finish was appropriate in terms of Sami delivering the 3 haluva kicks to Jay and Jay being the one to take the pin. And you sent the fans home happy. This should have been the main event of night 1, rightfully so. I don't know if maybe they were going back and forth thinking they should end it with the women's title match like they did night 1 of last year or what, but anybody thinking about it, really, this had to be it. Because, again, the Bloodline storyline has been the hottest storyline and the biggest storyline in wrestling for the last 2 years. So, obviously, both nights have to conclude with the Bloodline. And this match, it delivered on that front. It delivered in terms of the emotional storytelling that we've come to expect from this feud and from this storyline with the Bloodline. So, as a technical match, it was just kind of okay. You know, it wasn't really full of a whole bunch of real good or real top tier technical wrestling or a whole lot of high flying spots or nothing like that. You know, the part in the middle where they just basically delivered super kicks for days to his face, kind of, I get what they were going for with that spot, you know, just selling the beat down on Sami Zayn, but they could have injected a little bit more diversity into it other than just, all right, we're just going to super kick him for the next 10 minutes. Like, you know, they could have done more moves to help sell the beat down.
Right.
But other than that, it was a good match. It was a good match. I give it 4 stars.
What?
Yeah, you know, as we said, if the women's match, you know, Rhea versus Charlotte, if that was the best work rate match, yeah, this was the best storytelling match for sure. Which is saying something on a card that had Rhea and Dom, as you know, from a storytelling standpoint. I think absolutely the right call, main eventing with this. I think the crowd would have been dead for that women's match if that followed this. I mean, there was nothing left in the crowd. Trivia time. What was the last time a tag match main evented WrestleMania?
A tag match, period? Any tag match?
A tag match.
Hogan and Mr. T?
Yes, sir. WrestleMania 1. This is only the second time.
Really? That long? Holy shit.
Yeah, the only criticism I really have is, as you both have said, too many super kicks, man. I mean, just like do something else, anything else. Like, you know, it gets a little repetitive. In the lead up to this story, Sammy and KO would talk about how, you know, they're from Montreal or whatever, but their story started in LA. And what they mean by that is they're talking about PWG, Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, an indie in LA, where they kind of both got their names. If you noticed, they both on their gear, they both had the Guerrilla logo from PWG on their legs, which is kind of cool, little nod to their roots, and kind of tying the whole story together. How long, you know, KO and Sammy have been together and been frenemies or whatever you want to call it, you know, good friends, better enemies, whatever you want to. What did they always? They said they're going to fight forever, right? So
yep,
I mean, I fully expect at some point somebody's going to turn on somebody else, and
yep.
So I mean, that remains to be seen. We've kind of known step by step what was going to happen throughout this whole story, but to getting there has been the pleasure in it, you know. And sometimes even when you know what's going to happen, it doesn't matter because you know, seeing it unfold and how it unfolds is half the fun. But yeah, this was great. I loved it. And the story isn't over yet. I mean, who knows what's going to happen with Roman and Cody tonight? I would expect to see some bloodline drama interspersed throughout the evening. This evening, backstage stuff. You know. So yeah, but I mean, the first crack has finally taken hold, and I think we're beginning to see the beginning of the end here, the bloodline. But yeah, this was 4.5 stars for me. As far as storytelling goes, the best match of the night.
Yeah, and we still got a lot more to come. I mean, that's it for this episode. This WrestleMania Night 1, but that felt like. Okay, if we only had one WrestleMania, right? And that was it. Would you guys be satisfied? That was all we got?
If this was it?
This was it.
No.
Nope.
Because you can't have WrestleMania without a world title match.
Yep.
Correct.
Yep. It's just, every year it just seems like this thing's just getting longer and longer and longer. Bigger and bigger. We'll never have a one-night WrestleMania ever again, will we?
No,
Probably
but that's
not.
probably the best. I mean, it was getting ridiculous. 5 hours long, 6 hours long. You know, when you throw in the pre-show, you're talking 7-8 hours. That's too goddamn much.
The only thing I have to hold on to is SmackDown is still 2 hours long. That's the only thing I have to hold on to. If they make that 3 hours long, I'm going to lose my shit.
Nah. And I mean, it's not like they do this with every pay-per-view. It's not like they're dragging out all of them over the course of a whole weekend.
Thank
it's
God.
WrestleMania.
Yep.
And if any show deserves it, it's WrestleMania. It is one of the biggest sports events, period, in the world. I think I don't remember where I heard it, but I think they said that this is like the 7th largest, WrestleMania is the 7th largest sporting event in the world.
Right.
You know, and I'm pretty sure you could probably name 1 through 6 in terms of ones that are bigger than this. So, you know, WrestleMania, it ain't no small potatoes. It's 39 years of buildup to being the spectacle that it is now. So, you know, it deserves the whole full weekend treatment of 2 nights. You know,
well, what did we say? 80,000, right? They're gonna put 160,000 butts in 160,000 seats over the course of 2 days. That's nothing to sneeze at. You know what I mean?
No, nothing at all. Yeah. Especially considering most of them are the same people. Like, you know, wanting to go back to back. You know, it's just like, can you imagine that? Well, I can, because we might end up doing that. Yeah, I know. It's like, shit. Yeah.
Plus, there's going to be indie shows at the ECW Arena, and there's going to be all kinds of like meet and greets, and it's going to be a busy fucking week.
Yeah. I mean, that's how big WrestleMania's gotten. That not only is it the centerpiece of the WWE universe, it's become the centerpiece of professional wrestling, to where other wrestling things flock to wherever WrestleMania is to have their stuff there, because they know wrestling fans from all around the world are in town.
Absolutely. Well, guys, that wraps up night 1. Dre, do you have anything you want to plug between episodes?
No, nothing to plug. I'll just say that for anybody who is part of the PCW Discord, I will likely be in there live chatting again for night 2. So if anybody wants to chat it up for night 2 of WrestleMania, or really any WWE pay-per-views, I'm almost always in there live chatting it up.
Yeah, Doyle.
Yeah, I'm on the Discord on the leftover Facey Place thing there, and I'm looking forward to night 2, and I will be providing my thoughts and commentary as we did last night.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave out some invites on Twitter for the Discord if anybody else new wants to join our Discord. You know, I'll be there too during the pay-per-views. It's a very, very long evening, so it's nice to be able to talk to people all through the PCW group here and share our feelings about all types of wrestling. You know, from AEW to Ring of Honor to whatever else is left. You know, we have sections for them all. That wraps up night 1, guys. Until then, let's get a Patreon episode maybe started so we can fund our way to WrestleMania.
And his name is John Cena. Give me what I want. Give me what I want.
Oh, it's true. It's damn true.
It doesn't matter what your name is.
Well, screw you guys, I'm going home.
Bye, have a great time.